Now, the same sister goes on to say after this that anything you put your signature on becomes a contract. So if I walk down the street, man, and the kid asks me for my autograph and I sign his autograph, that's a contract to her. It's not a contract to me. It doesn't obligate me to do anything. It doesn't obligate the person I signed the autograph for to do anything. Whenever you sign your name to something, that's not a contract. You know, that's not nowhere near correct. Everything you sign is not a contract. If I write a note to somebody, tell them I'm going to be somewhere or I'm going somewhere at a certain time and I write my name to it, it's not a contract. I don't have to be there. They can't take me into a court of law and say anything bad about me because I didn't make it or I did make it. You know, I can write a letter to anybody and sign my name to it. That's not a contract. You know, so anything you sign your name to is not a contract. Now, she say, in signing contracts, if you are not in your proper person, then you are considered a minor. You are somebody who cannot illegally sign a contract. To a degree, I agree. A slave can't sign a contract with a master. Right? Once you sign the two parties that are signing a contract must be of equal status. I agree with that 100%. You must be of equal status. Both of you must be considered. So if one party is sovereign, the other party must be sovereign also. You know, a master doesn't sign a contract with a slave. A master doesn't sign a contract with property, with cattle, so on and so forth. A master can only sign a contract with another master. A national government can only really sign a contract with another national government, or somebody that's standing in a sovereign state of existence in his own proper person. I agree with that. Now, in breaking down the idea of proper person or propria persona, she makes a difference between propria persona and pro se, you know, in the courtroom law. And I'm not going to get in depth into that at this very moment, but I wanted to make note. You says that the word prosecutor, she said means prosecutor. Now, what on earth does cutor mean? It don't mean nothing. You know, there's no such thing as a prosecutor. The word prosecutor is from the two words pro and secutor. Secutor is the same as the word sequence, right? What a prosecutor is someone who's prosecuting you. This means that, like, if somebody slapped you in the head, that's not prosecution. If somebody slapped you in the head, chase you down the street, slap you in the head again, and every time you turn around, they slap you in the head, they slap you in the head, they come to your house looking for you so they can slap you in the head. They in your room slapping your head. Every time you take a shower, they slapping your head. That's prosecution. That's someone who's chasing you down forward in sequence, constantly hitting you in the head. That's prosecution. It has nothing to do with what she made up, prosecutor. That just is not legal, lawful. That's nothing. Now, she goes on after this to say that the Constitution is a contract between the U.S. Republic, or the United States Republic, and the United States of America, which she says is a corporation, a corporate ward, something or other. And that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You know, show me at the beginning of the Constitution when it was signed who was the U.S. Republic and who was the United States of America. Now, we know that the original states that signed the Constitution of the United States of America were all republics at the time. They were all national states or national governments at the time. They were full sovereign. When they signed the Constitution, when they enacted it and ratified it, what happens is they gave up part of their sovereignty and they all became part sovereign. They all became U.S. states. Now, under the federal government or the national government that was the United States of America, the government of the United States of America. Now, there is no two parties. It's not a contract between two separate parties or two separate entities that came together and formed one. There is no other party. There was the states who came together and formed a corporation. That's it. It is not between two separate corporations. Now, she speaks about the Treaty of 1787 like that has something to do with us as Moors here in America today. If you go through the Treaty of 1787, the Peace and Friendship Treaty, and you go through all 9 treaties, not just the first one, but all 9 of them, it has nothing to do with us here today in the 1900s. Really, in 2009. There's nothing in there that we can utilize today. And if anyone you want to go through that, you know, we can do it. Because that contract or that treaty was signed with the emperor. And unless you are a subject of the emperor of Morocco, it has nothing to do with you. Now, she talks about going into court, and instead of calling the judge your honor, call him my honor, and asking him what is your nationality? You know, what is the subject or status of your jurisdiction? Now she goes on to say that when you ask the judge this question about what is his status, what is his nationality, that he's not going to answer you. But the fact is, the reason he's not going to answer you about his status and jurisdiction has nothing to do with nationality. Every American citizen, to be an American citizen under the Constitution, must have a national descent. He must have a nationality to be considered a human being, and thus a citizen, because all citizens are human beings. Now, so he won't have a problem with his nationality. He probably put all kind of documents to show you his nationality as a citizen of the United States of America. His problem comes in other forms, in other things that have happened, which have nothing to do with his nationality. In the future, we're going to really get into that. Now, she further say the only way to be sovereign here on the continent of North America is to be a Moor. Now, Native Americans do not call themselves Moors. Native Americans, or falsely called Indians, but Native Americans do not represent themselves Moors. So are you saying they're not sovereign here? Are you saying they're not indigenous here? They are not Moors. And if you say that you're not from Africa, you're not from the Moors, or the Moorish family of nations of West Africa, then you ain't a Moor either, according to that demonstration. That really doesn't make sense. It's a nonsense statement that the only way to be sovereign is to be a Moor. That just don't make no sense whatsoever. And it does away with all the terms of nationality and citizenship, if you understand anything about nationality and free national citizenship. Now, she goes back into the Treaty of 1787, which is with the Moors in Africa. If you go read the statement, it's a treaty with the Emperor of Morocco, who at the time ruled the entire empire over all the Moorish family nations, but he was the Emperor of Morocco. Morocco is in Africa. If you're not from Africa, that treaty don't involve you. If you are from Africa and you're saying that you're a part of that treaty, that means you were either the Emperor of Morocco or you are a subject of the Emperor of Morocco, which we as Moorish American nationals are neither. The Prophet did away with all that. He took us away from somebody else's monarchy. He took us away from somebody else's sole sovereignty. Because we are all sovereigns. But you got to understand free nationalism, free national citizenship, popular sovereignty, so on and so forth. She also goes on to question, what authority do the court systems here have, what authority do they have to act in America on this soil? She tries to justify it with saying that they know that really the Moors are the only ones who have the legal right to act lawfully on this continent, and that they have no license because they didn't receive their license from us. And they're not in their proper person, even though they all know their nationality. Italian Americans know they're Italian Americans. They know their nationality. Irish Americans know the Irish Americans. We're the only ones that they know our nationality. But she says that they don't have the authority to act. Well, I can't tell, to be honest with you, because they're acting up and down, left and right. And to say that we are the ones that means we have to have somewhere we can go and prove that there is an authority already established here before them. The Treaty of 1787 doesn't do that. The Treaty of 1787 holds no authority or claim over the continent of North America. There's nothing in that treaty that says the Moors rule the continent of North America, or that you have to get permission from the Moors to do and establish anything on this continent. It doesn't exist.